So warmly welcome to all of you for day 4 of NEBOSH International General Certification. Until now, we have completed so far 3 elements, and today the 4th element is all about the measurement and measuring. That means we have to monitor the system and measure either we are improving day by day or what is our performance or health and safety performance, within our companies. So in the first 3 elements, if you guys remember, we have discussed why we need health and safety management system in our workplaces and how we can do it, what international standards we can benchmark and establish our system. And once it's well implemented, how are we going to manage through risk assessment processes and by understanding our people and deep control on our processes as well. Now, today's element is more like inspections, auditing, kind of analysis, data analysis. So a very straightforward learning objectives are there, which I'm going to share. We're going to discuss some of the common methods and indicators used to monitor the effectiveness of management systems. Now, the word effectiveness, this is, you can say, a very deep, even though it looks like a very simple word, but in fact, it have very deep meaning, Like whatever we are performing, whatever system even we have implemented, it's truly important. We need to measure the effectiveness, It can be any management system, It's not like only occupational health and safety management system, even quality, even food safety, even oil and gas, management system, whatever standards. I hope you remember we opened this ISO website, and plenty of standards we noticed in several areas. But measuring the effectiveness, of course, required some methods, some kind of indicators we agreed. And I hope you guys understand the value of KPIs, key performance indicators. A commitment you, agree with your top management that these are the KPIs you are going to achieve, or might be that management can give you some of these safety KPIs. Like if you agree with the management, you will make sure 50% reduction in accidents compared to 2020 within 2021. So that KPI, of course, would be measured, and it can only happen if the effectiveness of management system is in place. And that means the KPIs are being achieved as per the expectations of our top management, even all other stakeholders. The second objective of today's element is all about why and how incidents should be investigated, recorded, and reported as well. So incident investigation and how are we going to record it, and most importantly, how are we going to report it? All we are going to learn within element number 4. The third element, the third objective of element 4 is all about explain what an audit is and why and how they are used to evaluate a management system. Sometime I personally can give some examples as a safety auditor. Several companies I noticed they are excellent in documentation. I repeat again, they are excellent in documentation for any management system, but unfortunately, the ground realities are entirely different. That means if we're gonna do their mock audit or table kind of audit, you will find everything within the documentation. But when you're gonna visit on site or having some key analysis of the shop floor management, you will find plenty of gaps. That means the focus was only to fulfill the value of files, fulfill some bidding requirements, keeping their customers updated through some documentation, even though plenty of records I personally noted as a safety auditor, the fake one, just tick, 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 done, might be tomorrow they have audit and they completed several documents within today. Tomorrow they have audit. How come they completed last 6 months data, within one day actually? So several fake activities I personally noted as a safety auditor. So I always encourage, the problem with the fake documentation is once your customer evaluated or the third party company, whoever is coming for audit, if they found that you are preparing some fake documentation, the issue would be with the trust actually, because the trust broken once means it's broken forever. So in that scenario, always have to be honest, if we really want to ensure our positive credibility in front of our customers or other stakeholders, just be honest. Yes, sometimes we have pressures. If any points they're going to highlight, it would be highlighted in the audit report. Later on, the audit report would be shared with different stakeholders. So instead of having some kind of embarrassment or shameful uh, acts in front of customers, much better is to make this report positive. And several companies, they put plenty of pressure on the third party auditors or the auditors coming as a second party on behalf of customers. We offer them several gifts or maybe under table commissions again. So, this is kind of a ground reality. Just to get that report positive all the way around, we are very much straightforward. Even in the opening meeting of the audit, we tell to the auditor, don't dare to highlight any negative points. We want, because this report is very much important, for our business. And some auditors, they are straightforward, they are honest enough, and they don't agree with their mindset. But several auditors, again, I personally noted, they compromise with their credibility. They follow what the auditee is talking about, and whatever their expectations are, they try to fulfill. So the fourth element the fourth objective is explain why and how regular reviews of health and safety performance are needed. Like you're working for the last 3 years and you establish a system, you implemented, but you never had a management review meeting, or you never checked what is the performance. Like you implemented 100 different procedures and you couldn't verify either still they are effectively being followed or just being ignored. You didn't check for the last 3 years how many incidents have happened and what is the importance of data analysis, which we must discuss in the management review meetings, so we can create another achievement plan or kind of an action plan to improve further. That means the companies can never develop their improvement plan until they have a deep analysis of their system and discuss in the management review meetings in front of the top management, and even all heads of department must also be available for a better review. I'm talking about at least once in a year. At least once in a year, there must be a management review meeting, and the whole system performance levels of health and safety must be shared. Otherwise, the best thing is the regular reviews. Maybe some companies have monthly safety meetings. I noticed several have weekly safety meetings. I noticed several companies have daily safety meetings. So it's up to you. I mean, how are you gonna review your system, And safety committees, they are also established with that perspective that our system must be reviewed in different intervals so we can know where we are standing. My friends, I personally have completed several projects just as a gap analyzer. Like just the company called us, Ishtiyaq, can you come and just look into our system and let us know where we are standing, what are the gaps. So just for gap analysis, they call us for 2 days, for 3 days, and based on the gap analysis, of course, we will be highlighting a lot of areas for further improvement, and we'll suggest some actions as well within the report. And we are charging them maybe 25,000 real, maybe more than that sometime as per the size of the organization. So that means if a person is competent only as a risk assessor or as a gap analyzer or as an auditor or as a safety manager or supervisor or even as a fire specialist or as a process safety engineer or as a safety consultant, that means several domains are there. Several domains for your career developments are there. It's not like only to work as a health and safety manager. Even once you believe, based on several international standards, you can establish, develop a management system. You can open your consulting firm and offering services globally, in more than 200 countries even. Nobody can stop you. But it's a game of competence. It's a game of, real understanding and of course the trust in the market. If people trust that you as a gap analyzer or you as an auditor or you as a consultant will be bringing a lot of value addition to their business, surely they would have no problem to pay you, to hire you, and even for 10 days, even for 3 months, even for 6 months. Some projects we sign and it takes 6 months because as per the size of the organization, you surely have to agree, the days or the time frame according to the size of the organization. So I hope it will give you some energy within this element. We'll be discussing, like some people, they are excellent only in incident investigation, and they are just expert in incident or accident investigation. So as an investigator, might be several companies gonna call that gentleman as a third eye. And what are you gonna do? Just a neutral investigation against any of their accident. And several companies I notice, they have internal auditors, but 2 or 3 guys from outside. They are not their employees, by the way, but they just created kind of third eye, the neutral eyes, who will report them genuinely, neutrally, without any bias or without any discrimination, without any favorism even. So businessman basically he can take certain different initiative just to see where my health and safety management system is in place and where we are standing and what further improvements we truly need to ensure. So these are 4 learning objectives of element 4. So let's start with active and reactive monitoring. Same way we have proactive and reactive approaches, but here active and reactive monitoring. Active monitoring you can consider like a proactive monitoring. But reactive monitoring means something happened, something already faced by the company, and now you are going to monitor. Like an accident happened, I know you are very smart enough and went there and took plenty of actions. But where were you before? That is why it is always mentioned, prevention is better than cure. So much better approach is the proactive approach. The prevention from injuries, prevention from several accidents or incidents. So that prevention system actually must be incorporated within our buildings, within our shop floor layouts, even should be ensured in the machines, even must be penetrated within our employees as well. That they have to be proactive instead of waiting for the accident. They need to work that there isn't any chance of accident. That is why yesterday we discussed about risk assessment. And I hope you have evaluated how much it is important to be proactive, by conducting risk assessments. Or now we are going to discuss about active and reactive monitoring in element number 4.1. So what is active monitoring? Looking at control measure to see if they are correct. So in advance you are verifying your controls, either they're correct and being used before accidents are caused. Once accident happens, surely you are bound to take several actions, but where were you before? That is the biggest question. And one time I have asked directly to Aramco guys also, because I deliver several sessions to Aramco employees, so to their quality department, their LPD, their project, their HR. So I asked that question: why you guys always come after the accident? Why you don't play your role before the accident happened? Even though you have company man on every project, you have several checkpoints, but still, mostly you are more active and very rude and very aggressive, but right after the accident, while you must be so much active before something happens, even though Aramco, uh, I would say it's a huge brand on a lot of territory they have, and I would say hundreds of their projects are going on here and there. It's not easy for them even to ensure active monitoring, like to be proactive. But still, if someone is there already at the project site, so that individual mindset, even Aramco have to put a lot of stress on those minds to be proactive actually, rather than waiting for the accident and then shows all your Aramco powers actually. And they all agreed, and now Aramco is not like focusing on human development, to be very honest. Their focus is more like the technology development. Now they're bringing robotic technology, artificial intelligence, all their high hazardous processes. They're trying their level best to remove human from high hazardous processes and bringing the technology actually. And they are right because for the last 80 or 82 years of their experience, it shows, still several incidents or accidents are happening. That is why, as a proactive approach or learning from their accident, they are focusing more on to get latest technologies. And yes, there is another approach, we call it reactive, like using accident, incident, and ill health data to highlight areas of concern. In one of the company, I asked the first trader, do you have record for, for every first aid you provided to different employees for the last 3 years? And proudly he mentioned yes. Then the next question I asked, have you ever analyzed how many cases are there just because of back pain, because of headache only, or just minor injuries on hand, like hand injuries? What I mean is, have you identified the terrible area where you truly need to create a KPI, key performance indicator, or might be you can create a target for the next year? And unfortunately, the answer was no. That means sometimes the system is there, the data is available, but nobody is bothered to evaluate, to analyze that data, because the moment you evaluate the data, of course, you will find plenty of areas to focus, plenty of areas to improve actually. And that is the purpose of data analysis. And nowadays, I hope you guys also familiar with that. The data scientists are becoming more and more important, because data is the best communicator to us actually, best informer even. If you really want to know something about our system, have some data analysis of several areas. And let me repeat again, the data is there, but sometimes we are not evaluating, we are not analyzing. So how come we can get some further areas for improvement? Now, what is active monitoring is kind of a measure performance, non-conformance with standards, number and quality of risk assessments against plan, you can check, health and safety training to schedule, consultative committee meetings to schedule, and workplace inspections to schedule. So all are proactive measures, kind of active monitoring. And then one of the company has suggested, instead of having a big register of risk assessment, chop it up. Have risk assessment, department wise or process wise or area wise or material wise or machine wise. Chop it up. So then you will get better focused area instead of having a big risk assessment register and then hard to focus on several red zone areas. Much better is have maybe 12 different risk assessments of different areas or different machines or different processes, instead of having only one risk register and it's all done. Because people are very much reluctant, the more detailed document you have, the more they'll be reluctant to read or study or understand you. So less documentation, smart documentation, a report with less words instead of long stories is much better than, because people need easy understanding. If you will create bonanza of complicated documentation, like you are in the board meeting and they're asking, let us know what is how many accidents happened for the last 1 year, and you are telling them the long story. The first accident happened on January this, second accident happened on January last week, the third accident happened on, like this, instead of showing kind of a data analysis and shape of a graph, might be you can prepare an Excel. Now the management can easily understand how many accidents happened in January or February or March or May in one shot. They will have detailed analysis, right? So I would recommend, guys, if you have complicated documentation on any process, reevaluate and make it easier for people to understand, even to follow. I personally noted the mindset people hate sometimes the safety department because of over documentation, because of complicated documentation. They hate to fill hundreds of different documents. That is why it's time to reevaluate and make things smarter instead of complicated. Like instead of writing long stories and report, might be we can put all the checkpoints and they just tick and make sure, if everything is fine there or they have any concerns. So remarks column can also be put in place. So it depends on whom. We the system developers, the system implementers. And same way, if we are performing, like we have a training plan for 2021, but only 30% trainings are delivered. The rest of the 70% trainings just split it in the plan, but in fact only 30% trainings are delivered. I'm talking about internal trainings, which you as a safety manager, or might be you have a safety trainer, internal safety trainer. There could be so many excuses. Maybe the audience is not available, maybe too much projects overload, so no time for training, whatever the reason is. But why you mention in the plan then? That is why it is important to measure the performance of your risk assessments, your trainings, your meetings, as well as workplace inspections to schedule. And most importantly, there must be plans like training plans, our meeting plan, our risk assessment plan, our inspection plans in advance. And I'm sure, mashallah, your company, like a role model, you might have all these things, in a smarter way, mashallah. Now, safety inspection, sampling, and tours. Safety inspection means examination of workplace, statutory inspection, plant and machinery pre-use checks. usually done by one line manager or a competent person. Again, here is a terrible debating point, and whenever we sign a consulting project, we encourage to the same department to perform your daily safety inspection by yourself, because this is your home, your area, your department. Why you want a safety officer come every day and inspect your area? First, you inspect your area and let us know if there is any issue and you need our support to improve that area. Instead of our safety officer is coming and doing some inspection and then finding a lot of points, and later on you consider he is my enemy because he's highlighting some negative points of my department. So then much better approach is you conduct safety inspection of your own department. Then we as a safety leaders, of course, have to have some online on-site visits, and we'll be performing random inspections. We don't need to come again and again in a department where we don't get any further chances of improvement. Because those guys are doing inspection by themselves, they are improving, they are removing all the gaps by themselves. Whenever they need a support, they are calling us. Otherwise, they are working like a separate company and managing their health and safety by themselves. And we as the safety leaders just supporting them. Now, the next is the safety sampling. This is all about representative sample to judge compliance, less time consuming. Instead of checking every record, maybe out of 50 different records or out of 50 different processes, might be I can target 4 or 5 and get the whole picture of compliance in. Like if you have 100 different forklifts, so better to have sampling safety audits or inspections. Instead of verifying all 100, better to check 10 or 15 out of 100 and see what is the ratio. If all 15 have terrible issues, means all 100 forklifts need detailed inspections, or maybe a corrective action against each one would be required, because that's how you conduct sampling based inspections or audits. There is another one, we call it safety tour. That means the high profile walk around inspection in a workplace carried out by a group, including senior managers. So whoever is visiting, what is the positive approach? If any visitor is visiting our site, or any customer is coming, or any even government official is coming, we by ourselves should encourage them, please report us. Please have a deep analysis of our system and just report us if you see any abnormality or anything you want to improve actually. So we must encourage them, instead of waiting or instead of avoiding, that they should not highlight any point, because they are the third eye. They are not used to your system every day. So they will have a better understanding how the system is working in place or needs some further improvements. So don't miss that chance. If someone is coming from outside and visiting your site, don't miss that chance to get some points for further improvement. And yes, the intention is to interact and be highly visible, because if top management is having safety tour, or the top managers are there, so of course it would be having a lot of positive influence in the minds of our employees. And this is how we create a safety culture as well. There are some systematic inspections, like for plant, we inspect machinery and vehicle. Like it's all about Tetra P or 4P in other words. And premises means covered our workplace and environment, and people, working methods and their behavior. And procedures, safe systems and permit to work. I mean, yesterday we discussed permit to work and safe systems, why policies, procedures, work instructions, and different kind of rules, and including PTW system, why it's required actually. So we can do systematic inspections like plant, premises, people, and procedures. Procedures, of course, whenever I'm going for an internal audit, much better to get the procedure of that department of or SOP of that process, and just double check either they're following the same procedure or there are some gaps or kind of variables. But bear in mind, this is kind of a systematic approach to conduct our inspections, starting from the plant, then premises, people, and procedures. Now, there must be arrangements for active monitoring. Several factors are there when planning the introduction of active monitoring. We have to bear in mind and decide what type of monitoring we require, what frequency is important, allocation of responsibilities like who will do it, and competence of the inspector, how we can ensure it. And either we require a checklist or he will just pointing out through notes, action planning for problems found. Let me share with all of you one more live example. Sometimes I see a big corrective action register in different companies with target dates, even follow-up dates, but in fact, maybe less than 20% actions are implemented and rest of the actions are still opened. But every day new actions are coming and being entered within that register. And in one of the company I personally noted, whenever there is an audit from third party or from customer side, they will remove all other action except the one they have completed on time and showing the positive stories that everything is on the right track. I hope you got the point. Like they have two action plans registers, one to show to the auditors and one for themselves. But if a smart auditor is there, he will definitely pinpoint and ask several questions. How come 100% actions are implemented? Why some actions are not in process? And why only fewer actions you highlighted while on the other side you have a big company? So I'm encouraging you, don't accept any fake documentation. Either you are working as a safety manager or as a safety officer or as a safety auditor or safety technician or kind of inspector, whatever position you have, don't accept fake records from any department. Because safety is not a formality. These are some of the example inspection system like bank head office. What is the purpose? Monitor health and safety standards. Frequency means we can conduct on a monthly basis. Competence, 1-day course required to the gentleman who will be able to monitor health and safety standards of bank head office. Who is responsible for that bank head office? The managers at different levels. Inspection checklist, the general inspection checklist tailored if required, follow-up arrangements and action plan. So this is just kind of an example of inspection system. So our purpose must be clear, frequency need to be, that is why, several companies, they have health and safety inspection plan separately and auditing plan entirely separate. Now we have a group exercise. List the topic headings that should be included on an inspection checklist for use in your workplace. Design a rough format for the inspection checklist. Can you just put some points in the chat box for this general inspection checklist of health and safety system? Can you just highlight, if you are preparing an inspection checklist, what thing you're going to mention there? Excellent, Mr. Ryan. So housekeeping is the single most important area for sure. Yes, we'll check fire extinguishers. They are right on place and everything is okay, neat and cleaned. Needle is in the green zone. What else you gonna put into it's a general inspection checklist. General safety inspection checklist, and we are talking about the points. Emergency exits, that they are free from any obstruction. That is the point. Of course, we can check. Anything else, please? Because it's a general inspection checklist, so we can add so many points. Please think a little more deeper. Yes, Mr. Isa, electrical safety we can put in place into the general checklist. If you'll think a little bit logical way, you'll get a lot of points. Traffic routes, the PPs. Excellent, Mr. Mishari and Mr. Isa. Little more deeper, please. Blind spots, yes, Mr. Ryan, and sharp edges. Excellent, mashallah. Excellent, the sharp edges. Nobody focused deeply, Mr. Ryan, to be very honest. Excellent point, mashallah. So guys, in the WhatsApp group, I have shared 3 documents. One is HSE dashboard, then JSA and HSE plan checklist. Just as an example, so you can have, yes, Mr. Ryan, we can verify the noisy area and also the walkways and working surfaces. Yes, we can verify the chemical flammable hazardous material storage. So we can create different sections. Maybe one section we can create for traffic management, or one for material storage, then for hazardous material, site safety rules we can double check, emergency management plan we can verify, manual handling we can observe in our operations, PPs we can verify, plant and equipment, of course, remember 4 Ps. Then housekeeping, like mentioned, lifting equipment, welfare and site accommodation we can double check, scaffolds and ladders separately we can verify, even excavation, if any confined spaces, or electric or gas welding, gas cutting, if such processes are going on. Portable tools separately we can verify. Even environmental arrangements or occupational health arrangements. So I just shared one Excel HSE plan checklist in the WhatsApp group, along with HSE dashboard and also GSA. Okay, so these are some of the workplace inspections topics like fire safety, housekeeping, environmental issues, traffic routes, chemical safety, machinery safety, electrical safety, and welfare safety. So we can create several domains, several topics, and each one with the separate checkpoints. We can have detailed inspection checklists like general safety inspection checklist. Now, reactive monitoring. This is all about, after the accident or incident ill health, once we have a lot of data, or we learn something from our accident, even though it's a reactive monitoring. So through that, we highlight the areas of concern and things that have already gone wrong. And also we measure our failures, So two methods are there, like lesson from one specific event, like an accident, data collected over a period. But it's a reactive monitoring, that we are learning from our mistakes. I always say one time mistake or first time incident or accident on any process still is a source of learning. But repetition of same incident on the same process or conducting the same mistake is became like a choice, because you didn't take any corrective preventive actions to avoid reoccurrence. If same accident happening over and over, it's a very straightforward indicator that your safety system is not well being followed, or the effectiveness is missing, in implementation. So it's a reactive monitoring, data collected about accidents, dangerous occurrence, near misses. Assist in analyzing, several accidents over the period of time, workers' complaints, even pattern hotspots of the certain enforcement actions, or different kind of injuries we can analyze through the graphical presentation. So bear in mind this formula, the lost time accident frequency rate, the lost time accident per 100,000 hours worked. So if you want to know the frequency rate of our lost time accident, so what is the formula? Number of lost time accident during a specific time period and number of hours worked over the same period multiply 100,000. It's up to you. You want to do it per 10,000 hours or per 100,000 hours. Accordingly, you will get your lost time accident frequency rate, But much better is 100,000 hours, like number of lost time accident during a specific time period, a number of hours worked over the same period. Now the 4.2 is all about investigating, recording and reporting incidents. Investigating, recording and reporting incidents. You remember I mentioned sometimes it is truly so hard to convince people to report. To report if there are any near miss, to report if there is any minor injury even, or any incident or accident, please report it. Because if you will hide, that means nobody is going to take any action. Don't expect that the safety inspector will catch everything on a day-to-day basis. It's not easy. It's not easy to watch everyone, to watch all machines or all processes and have deep analysis every day. It's not easy. That is why I mentioned safety as the responsibility of everyone. But convincing our employees to report is one of the most difficult challenge, I would say. Now, why we need to investigate, our why, the reasons for investigations, why we need to do investigations, what are the benefits? The reasons to carry out investigation, basically, we can identify the immediate and root causes. We can try our level best to prevent recurrence. We can surely collect and record evidence. Legal reasons are also there, also for insurance purposes, staff morale and disciplinary purposes, and data gathering as well. That is why we need to conduct investigations. Now, how many types of incidents are there? Like we have accident, near miss, dangerous occurrence, and work-related ill health. And to be very honest, if a company takes very serious to the near miss and they put a lot of actions and preventive actions to avoid even from near miss, they are blocking the ways which can lead to an accident. So working on near miss means you are controlling or you are avoiding the future accident. But convincing our employees to report about near miss is very challenging, to convince them to report all the near misses. And of course, the dangerous occurrence and work-related ill health. So types of incidents are mentioned here. Let's go one by one. Even though accident is kind of unplanned, unwanted event which leads to injury, damage, or loss. So nobody wants accident. That is why it is mentioned as unplanned, unwanted event which leads to injury, damage, or loss. Now, injury accident where the unplanned, unwanted event lead to some sort of personal injury could be a cut hand or damage only accident where the unplanned, unwanted event leads to equipment or property damage, but not personal injury, like a wall is demolished. So, injury accident and damage only accident. That means no fatalities, no person is injured, but property damage is observed, still is an accident. So injury accident and damage only accident. So two further types of accidents. Now, if you don't report accidents or you as a company, God forbid, trying to hide accident just to secure your goodwill in the market, is purely illegal, unethical, because and also you lost an opportunity to improve further because you are not willing to learn from that accident because you are hiding it means you are not going to do anything. And if you also evaluate, especially your contractors, because you as a brand mashallah role model, I don't expect that you will be hiding even a single accident, but look at to your contractors or subcontractors and ask them, how do you ensure there are no unreported near misses or accidents or injuries within your company? How do you ensure, how do you make sure that there isn't any kind of unreported accidents, incidents, near misses, or even kind of injuries, and then be a good listener and listen to the contractor's answer, and if they can justify and make you satisfied, that means this contractor have a solid safety system in place and also a good culture, safety culture within the company. So it's very much important area to reconsider how many unreported accidents or near misses or kind of injuries are there. Because usually we claim, oh, we have achieved 2 million safe man hours. But what about unreported accidents, or what about unrecorded also? Like something happened, but you didn't record because you don't want to make your register longer, and the company management is also with you. I'm creating a real scenario here. One of my friend, I can't quote the name of the company, he called me, is working as a corporate safety manager. He called me, Ishtiaq, one accident happened at our site and the person has died immediately. Unfortunately, the top management, they are stressing me and putting a lot of pressure not to report it and make it kind of like a natural death, at home. Now, what should I do? And he was truly worrying about, and instead of making a call to me or writing WhatsApp or any email, basically he came, directly to meet me because he doesn't want to create any record or any kind of evidence. So the moment we were discussing, I noted his face was trembling, his voice was shredded up because he mentioned, what should I do? Because if I say no to the top management, my job is over. So what should I do? Now, if the same friend is coming to you guys, what should be your reply to him? This is the question in the chat box. If your friend coming to you and requesting and need your opinion, that the top management is saying don't report that fatal accident, what would be your reply to him? What you will recommend him? To hide or to report, or what to do actually? Because sometimes it is really hard to say no, and it's really hard to say yes as well. If the same friend of mine is coming to you with the same kind of pressure, what would be your reply actually? I repeat again, there is a fatal accident and the person is expired at site, but the top management is saying don't report it to go see, don't report it to, even internally, just hide it and make it kind of a natural death at home. Just he slipped off, that is why had injuries there and he suddenly died. What would be your reply, guys? Because these are the challenges we as a safety professional sometimes facing at ground level. Any other opinion, please? So, Mr. Mishari and Mr. Khalid, I truly appreciate your reply because we have to be honest. And this is what I told him, be honest, you will find another job because millions of companies are there in the world. But if you don't report, of course, no money to his family also. And the payment what you were paying to go see every month for this gentleman is also would be considered kind of a waste. And on the other side, it's unethical, it's illegal. Then I drafted an email and I told him, send this email to all your top management personals and see if anyone have daring mind to reply even. And he reported this is kind of incident happened and I'm getting pressure from someone from the top management, don't report it. But if we don't report, this is kind of illegal, unethical, no benefit to the benefit to employees' family also. And on the other side, in later stage, if any of our employee will highlight during the investigation or in front of the doctor even, the things would be terribly affecting to our company brand as well. So if still you guys want me not to report it, please, I would appreciate if you can reply this email and give your instructions in writing. Otherwise, as a safety manager, I'm bound to report. I'm legally bound to report. And Alhamdulillah, nobody, no hurdle at all, and still is working with the same brand. And later on, a lot of money paid to the employee's family because some way they can survive back. And mashallah, more respect to that corporate safety manager because he was pretty straightforward. But from that day to onward, he always ready to resign if company is putting negative pressure. Now he's bold enough to change the job or to leave that side. So, instead of accepting the unethical kind of suggestions or pressures from the top management even. So these are ground realities, guys. So very much important is to find out how many unreported accidents or incidents or near misses are there. This area must be focused. Like we have focused 2 million safe man hours we have achieved. Parallel focus must be how many, is there any unreported incident or near miss or injuries? Unreported one. Now, what is dangerous occurrence? A specified event that has to be reported to the relevant authority by statute, the law, e.g. a major gas leak. Work-related ill health is a disease or medical condition that is directly attributable to the work, like dermatitis as a result of exposure to skin irritants. Look at the picture. There are different levels of investigations as per NEBOSH theories. Like the minimal, low, medium, and high. Minimal means immediate line manager, not excessive time or effort. Can be done by the line manager. This is kind of immediate, minimal level. And low is the line manager, perhaps with some support and more time and effort involved. And medium is the middle manager with support and significant time and effort is required. And high level means the senior management oversight with team-based approach and significant time and effort. So 4 different levels, how much you have to take that investigation seriously at different levels, like minimal, low, medium, and high. Now we have a group exercise. Discuss the first thing you should do when arriving at an accident scene and then the later steps. Consider what type of equipment you may need to assist you. I repeat again, discuss the first thing you should do when arriving at an accident scene, and then the later steps, and also mention what type of equipment you need to assist yourself. Can you highlight in the chat box, like what first thing you're going to do when you arrive at the accident scene? Yes, please. I'm putting the statement in the chat box. Discuss the first thing you should do when arriving at accident scene and then the later steps. Consider what type of equipment you may be need or require to assist you. Okay, so Mr. Mshari, you mentioned do the corrective action, report it and investigate. Okay. I repeat again the question. Discuss the first thing you should do when arriving, when you are visiting or arriving at an accident scene, and then the later step. So this is kind of a later step to take corrective actions, report and investigate. First thing is call emergency if needed. Excellent, Mr. Ryan. And then check on the patient if any, contact the health department or barricade the area, get the picture for an accident scene. Great, mashallah. Anything else is coming in your mind? Okay, guys, so this is the basic investigation procedure. First of all, the safety of the scene. Is the area safe to approach? Your safety must be your first priority. Is the area safe to approach? Is immediate action needed to eliminate danger before casualty are approached? Casualty care, first aid treatment, hospitalization. Also consider bystanders who may be in shock. So what is the step one? Gather factual information. This is kind of basic investigation procedure. Step two is analyze the information and draw conclusions. Step three, identify suitable control measures. And step four is plan the remedial actions. So step one is all about gathering factual information. Step two is analyze the information and draw conclusions. Step three means identify suitable control measures. You know, the word suitable have very deep meaning. That means the effective control measures, the productive one, the appropriate control measures, which you truly need to identify, and then plan the remedial actions. So 4 steps investigation procedure is there. Now let's discuss one by one. Like if we talk about gathering factual information, what are the steps are incorporated in step 1 and then step 2 and 3 and 4. So in the step 1 is all about secure the scene, like you mentioned, mashallah. and identify witnesses because you are gathering information. Try to collect factual information. There's a number 3 step of the step 1, and then interview witnesses and examine documents. So 5 sub steps of step number 1, which we need to follow to gather the information, like secure the scene, identify witnesses, collect factual information, interview witnesses, and examine the documents. Now, there are some techniques how to interview the witness, This injured statement, of course, if the person is not unconscious or, another way around, he is quite capable to speak up, then no harm to take a statement of the, but make sure, getting that statement is not creating further difficulty to the injured person, because that statement, of course, you can get from the witnesses if anyone is there, what exactly happened, or later stage, once is recovered from the shock or injury is a little bit recovered or might be in the hospital, doctor gave us the permission, then no harm to take that statement from the injured person. So the best idea is to take interview of the witnesses, and this is the technique. Like, make sure you have quiet room or no distractions. Establish a rapport and explain the purpose, not about blame actually. And use open questions: who, what, where, when, why, and how. 5 W's and 1 H. Who, what, where, when, and why. So through these open-ended questions, of course, you will get plenty of information from the witness. It's much better to keep an open mind, take notes, ask for a written statement, and thank the witness actually. And if you are going to examine the documents, what documents are having some key importance, like the company policy, the risk assessments, training records, safe systems of work, permit to work, maintenance record, previous accident reports, and sickness and absence records. So basically, these all documents will give you plenty of insights how that process was being controlled, either the existing controls was sufficient enough or not. And if they were not sufficient enough, why not the additional controls are put in place? Why the risk assessment is not reviewed for the last 1 year? Why the permit to work system didn't work properly, or the safe system of work, like game of SOPs and procedures? If the culprit is the machine itself, why the maintenance was not being done? If it is being done, check the records. I mean, see the maintenance team was well in place and they were performing their job. And previous accident report for the same machine, for the same area, for the same process. So it will also give you some insights what went wrong. And sickness and absence records of that department or people working within that process, of course, you would also be highlighting what other factors are there. But we can avoid all these things if we have been proactive actually, instead of reactive. Like after the accident, look at how many things we are performing, and it's all kind of cost actually. So there is a step 2, like analyzing informations. We truly need to find immediate causes, and immediate causes could be either these unsafe acts or unsafe conditions. Immediate causes could be unsafe acts or unsafe conditions. And the key area is the underlying root causes, because immediate causes, immediately we can find out and we can observe quite easily. But The key part is the underlying root causes. That means to find out the reasons behind the immediate causes or often failure in the management system, like no supervision, no PPs provided, no training, no maintenance, no checking or inspection. Now here I can share one scenario. Imagine one incident happened. There was oil spillage on the floor, and one of the gentlemen slipped off and had a terrible head injury. Now, if you are the investigator, how would you be investigating actually? There was oil spillage. The person slipped off, fell down, and terribly got head injury. Now, if you are the accident investigator, how would you identify immediate causes and underlying root causes? The slide is right in front of you. My question is, how would you identify immediate causes like unsafe acts or unsafe conditions and underlying root causes if you are the accident investigator? You can speak up or even you can write in the chat box, it's up to you. Yes, guys, I repeat again the scenario. Oil spillage was there on the floor. The person slipped off and had hand injury. Now you are the investigator. So what would be the immediate causes and underlying root causes of that accident? Yes, please. Okay, so Mr. Khalid, you will check the housekeeping program if it's implemented well or not. Any other opinion, please? Like of this incident or accident, what are the immediate causes? Like the unsafe condition was because the oil spillage was there. An unsafe act is walking on the oil spilled areas by the gentleman. You can consider kind of an unsafe act as well. And Mesmer, yes, lack of knowledge. Okay. And let me mention one more point. The spillage was happened because of leaking forklift. Lack of training was also there. I repeat again that oil spillage was happened because of leaking forklift. Now let me know what would be your underlying root causes. So unsafe equipment, like you started asking, what happened? Yes, inspection not completed. Now, Mr. the point is, why inspection was not completed? Mr. Mashari, why that was unsafe equipment? So you will not leave the word why until you dig out all the underlying root causes, and it will ultimately link to the top management, the top leadership of that company. Like if someone say the this forklift was leaking because there wasn't any inspection from the operator, the forklift operator. Why that inspection was not done? Because there was too much rush, the workload. And that is why he couldn't find time. Why too much workload was there? You will not leave that why until you find out, dig out all the possible. Okay, forklift was leaking because maintenance was not being done, even though it was reported in the inspection report, but maintenance was not done. Why maintenance was not done? Because it is the responsibility of third party maintenance company. So we called them, but they didn't give us any positive response.
I think because it's failure of management system.
Absolutely right, mashallah, great. So underlying root causes, ultimately we will go up to the top management automatically. If you will not leave the word why.
Excuse me, miss. I have to go to my next Eric and the magician. I'd love to show you magic.
And like mashallah is mentioned, lack of supervision is there. And no training, no maintenance, no proper checking or inspections. Even might be the PPs were not good, like the anti-slippery shoes were not there. That is why he slipped off.
Prediction here of something that is about to happen. May I? Yeah. Put it on your pocket. I'm gonna put it on your pocket. Don't peek at this till it's time. I'm about to give you $20.
Okay, guys. So the third step is kind of a group exercise, even though we have discussed the scenario. But let's see. A worker is struck by a load being carried on a pallet by a forklift truck. Outline possible immediate and underlying causes of the accident. A worker is struck by a load being carried on a pallet by a forklift truck. Outline possible immediate and underlying causes of accident. So feel free to reply. Otherwise, since we have discussed one scenario, so let me share directly the forklift truck accident. What are the possible immediate causes? First of all, failure to secure the pallet. Poor positioning of the truck close to the pedestrian exit, and also aggressive braking by the driver. Inattentive pedestrian steps into the path of the forklift truck. So these are immediate causes. You remember the immediate causes means either could be unsafe acts or unsafe conditions. So both are almost highlighted in the immediate causes. Now, what are the possible underlying root causes? First of all, no training for the driver, lack of segregation of vehicle at pedestrian and poor driver induction, poor truck maintenance, and no refresh training. So these are possible underlying root causes. So we must be very much clear how to differentiate between immediate and underlying root causes. So immediate causes, just bear in mind, they are kind of unsafe acts or unsafe conditions. And underlying root causes is kind of a system failure. Some of the points related to system would be highlighted. Okay. Now, the third step of accident investigation is all about identifying suitable control measures. Like for immediate causes, clean up the spill, replace the missing guard, and relocate the trailing cable. So this is kind of immediate causes. We need to put some effective controls or kind of immediate controls even. And for underlying root causes, it's more difficult, need to make changes in management system. So underlying root causes belong to the management system, and immediate causes is equal to unsafe acts and unsafe conditions. And if you will remember that difference automatically, it would be more easier for you to conduct investigation stepwise. Number 4 step is planning the remedial actions. Like dangerous conditions must be dealt with immediately. Interim actions may be possible. Underlying causes will require more complex actions, will take time, effort, disruption, money, need for prioritization as well. So the real challenge is to avoid repetition, the reoccurrence. How are we going to make sure this incident, this accident, or this near miss is not going to happen again? Because it is clearly highlighted our existing controls are not sufficient. Our existing controls are not enough. So once you implemented some additional effective controls, then the incident shouldn't be repeated actually, if your controls are effective, the further ones. So bear in mind that planning the remedial actions is one of the most, because every company has some level, some injuries, some near misses, some accidents. I didn't see for the last 19 years even a single company who's going to claim we don't have any accident for the last 20 years or 25 years or 30 years, If they say for the last 25 years we have 0 accident, don't trust, because 100% is Allah. That's it. If someone say we have 100% improvement in our company everywhere, don't accept. There is always a possibility or an area for further improvement, for sure, So for planning the remedial action, it is very much important to dangerous conditions must be dealt with immediately. Interim actions may be possible. Underlying causes will require more complex actions, like it will take time, effort, disruption, money, need for prioritization as well. Like recommendation action is introduce induction training for all new drivers. Priority is medium, time scale is 1 month, and who is responsible? The warehouse manager. Or any investigation or any kind of immediate or underlying root causes you identified, if we don't bring them into action plans as a remedial, then definitely, it's a huge gap, because sometimes we are excellent investigator, but unfortunately, again, we didn't implement the effective controls, even suggested in the report. Now, recording and reporting requirements. Reporting is the process of informing people that an incident has occurred. That is why several brands, they have corporate communication departments separately. And that corporate communication department is responsible to communicate all good or bad things of the company within the group. Even outside or external communication is also their responsibility. So reporting is the process of informing people that an incident has occurred, and can be internally within the organization or externally to enforcing authorities or insurers. Recording, of course, is the process of documenting the event. Recording is the process of documenting the event actually. Now we have another group exercise. What sort of things are likely to hinder good accident and near miss reporting? What are the hurdles, What can an organization do to make it more likely that incidents will be reported? I told you, unreported injuries or near misses or kind of incident or accidents still happening globally. Intentionally or unintentionally, we don't want to show the bad picture of our business. So what sort of things are likely to hinder good accident and near miss reporting? Why our employees are not reporting, why they love to hide? what factors are there we truly need to remove so people can report without any blame shame mindset, What should we do actually? Do you think they are not trained enough? Do you think because the company's overall culture is not kind of a positive safety culture? Or do you believe this is kind of a mindset that people have a blame shame kind of a mindset? That is why they want to hide instead of reporting. Yes, Mr. Ryan, this is the most important point you highlighted. Oh, he's my best friend. If I'll report something about his department or his area, so we don't want to blame our friends. While reporting is not kind of a blame shame game, it's kind of an opportunity to further improvement. But yes, those positive vibes can never be there without proper trainings and that is why I told you, this is the greatest challenge to convince people to report. And if someone is not reporting, nobody is going to take any action. So these are the barriers to reporting, like sometimes unclear organizational policy, because there should be a zero tolerance policy that all accidents, near misses, injuries have to be reported. But that policy is unclear or no reporting system in place. Sometimes the system is not there, like stop card, red tag movement, or some kind of format available so people can report. And yes, I totally agree, Mr. Ryan. Sometimes the thing is very small, so why should I report? And sometimes no reporting system in place, overly complicated reporting procedures. If complicated reporting procedures are there, again, our employees would be reluctant to report. And also excessive work, paperwork, or takes too much time, blame culture, apathy, and lack of training on policy and procedures. You remember I mentioned I can deal maybe 1,000 machines quite easily, but dealing with 100 different brains is not an easy job because everyone is different and it's a human nature. The more you will push them, they will start resisting. Even for positive changes, they will surely resist, maybe 5%, maybe 10%. Majority would be with you, but still you will find some employees and they will try to resist even the positive changes. And yes, apathy is another problem, like lack of interest or enthusiasm, in other words. Lack of training or policy and procedures. Trainings are there. Let me claim here. Trainings are there, but effective trainings are missing actually, or the effectiveness is missing. Now, internal incident reporting will depend on the severity. Like internal means directors, senior managers, human resources managers, health and safety, environmental advisors, and worker representatives, and external family of the casualty, external authorities, insurance companies, and public relation advisors. Internal incident reporting will depend on the severity. So, internally, to whom we need to report, and externally, like to the family, external authorities, insurance companies, or public relation advisors, have to be reported. Now, how we what things we record on the accident book or kind of accident register, you know. So minimum standard is the accident book, and what information we have to add there: the name and the address of casualty, date and time of accident, location of accident, details of injury, details of treatment given, description of event causing injury, details of any equipment or substances involved, witnesses' names and contact details, details of the person completing the record, and signatures. So, and these are minimum informations must be logged actually in the accident log book or log sheet, or at least accident book must have all these informations. The name and address of the casualty, date and time of accident, critically important. Location of accident, details of injury, what exactly happened, details of treatment given at initial stage as a first aider or even later stage, you know. So description of event causing injury, details of any equipment or substances involved, witnesses' names and contact details, and details of person completing the record, and signature also. So these are minimum kind of standard informations must be there in the accident book. Now, externally reportable events, some incidents need to be reported to regulators by law. That means it's kind of a legal requirement, you know. So the regulators by law, for example, fatality, major injury, dangerous accident, disease, and lost time injuries have to be reported. You know, take an example of just a roadside accident. You know, whenever an accident happened, we called Najam, we called several authorities, and we report. They fail a lot of data. What they're doing, they're reporting. They are creating a kind of report about this incident, and automatically in the database, it is being logged. And all informations are put in place, like Saudi Arabian government, all the data of Saudis or non-Saudis, including, I mean, expatriates, is already there. If any accident happened, immediately the data would be pulled out from the database, and automatically, you know, the report will be prepared, and that data is a kind of indicator how many accidents happened in Khobar Damam Highway, or maybe in Al Hassa or some others, you know. And through that data analysis, Saudi government, especially the traffic department, you know, they'll put several actions. What I mean is they follow the same kind of procedure what we try our level best within our companies, you know. But any fatal accident happened within our company must be reported to the government, especially to the GOSI system, you know. Could be the fatality, major injury, dangerous accident, disease, or lost time injuries as well. They must be reported externally. So until now, we have discussed so far about accident investigation, why reporting is important, the barriers of reporting. Also, we discussed, you know, the active and reactive monitoring. And we discussed about several steps of incident investigation, starting from gathering the information and several other steps. So now we have 4.3 is all about auditing. And I hope you remember there are 3 types of audits. First is the first party audits, like your internal audits, your internal departmental, you know, department to department audits. That's called first party auditing. The second party audit might be your customers are sending someone to audit you, audit your company. Or if you are sending your auditors to audit your contractors and subcontractors, you are the second party auditors for your contractors. And if you are willing, like if your company is willing to achieve third-party international certifications and your system is ready, then you willingly hire a third-party certification company. And when they come for audit, that would be called third-party audit. So three types of auditors. Either you are going to be the internal auditors or the auditors on behalf of your customers, or if even governments are coming to audit us, any government department, that would also be considered a second party auditor. But the third party auditors, the audit from the certification body coming to your company and evaluating that your safety system in line with international standards is well compliant, like as per ISO 45001, or if you are working on environmental management system as per ISO 14001, and if you're working on quality management system, that means 9001 as well. So it's up to you which standards you have benchmarked or integrated all the standards, local, legal, from your customer, even the international standards. You are incorporating all the standards and forming your system or developing your system accordingly. And we call it, if you are mixing different standards altogether, we created a integrator management system. That means IMS. Like we collaborated ISO 9001, 14001, 45001, even API, American Petroleum Institute standards, even Royal Commission standards. We incorporated local Saudi regulations as well. We took some help from ILO, from WHO, from NFPA, from OSHA regulations. So what we are doing, we are incorporating, we are benchmarking several local and international standards and establishing our system accordingly. Now it is our choice, either we want to certify our system, so our brand value will be enhanced, will be more easily to go for bidding also, because we have achieved third-party certification against our safety system, quality system, or environmental management system as well. And we got that certificate from the third party, could be SGS, DUV, Intertech, or several other certification bodies are there. So this is our own choice. Some companies, they establish the system as per ISO standards, but they don't go for the certification. I repeat again, some companies, they have established a state-of-the-art management system as per international standards, as per ISO standards, but they don't go for the certification. That is their choice, because what they believe is the ISO standards are helping us to structure, to have a solid structure to develop our systems, and they consider this a great help from those standards, but they are not willing to go for third-party certification. So this is company's own choice, and mostly we are a customer-driven market. So whatever our customer gonna say, we are going to do it. If our customer gonna say in our bidding requirements, please, where is your ISO 9001 certificate, or 14001, or 45001, or ISO 29001, or I hope you got the point. If they are asking those certificates, surely we will go for the certification, because ultimately customer is a king. So we have to fulfill the requirements of our customer. But bear in mind the three different types of audits. The first type of audit is all about the internal audit. The second party audit means your customers are auditing, the government bodies are auditing to your company, or you are auditing to your suppliers or your contractors. That means it's a kind of second party audit. And third party is the audit from the the certification bodies on our behalf, based on our willingness, we are calling them. So I hope it will give you some insights what type of auditing is there. And inshallah, after the break, we will discuss what is auditing 4.3 as per NEBOSH theories. In the meantime, I'll need few minutes so I can share some documents in the WhatsApp group related to auditing as well. So you enjoy your prayer and lunch break and come back at 1 o'clock. Okay, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Welcome.